So let's talk about Mario Waters and how he got killed in prison for doing one of the most horrific acts to a 6-year-old. This is one of the more darker, horrific crimes that I've covered on my channel. Mario Waters will be brutally murdered in prison, stabbed, beaten, and tortured for what he did to a 6-year-old girl who she thought was his uncle, even called him Uncle Red. This piece of shit here, a wannabe rapper, you can go look at his YouTube page. While he was talking about money, guns, women, all that, he was raping a 6-year-old little girl that looked at him as her uncle. In February 2018, the daughter of Beth Ingrid, the piece of shit you see right there, will be brought to the hospital for symptoms that Beth didn't know. But it turns out the 6-year-old girl had 4 different STDs. After questioning the little girl and taking her away from the mother, they found out that Beth Ingrid had rented a hotel room where she let Mario Waters, aka the wannabe rapper True Waters, and DeMarcus George, who raped the little 6-year-old girl. The little girl, who looked at one as an uncle and one of a friend of the family, will be led to the slaughter by her own mother, Beth Ingrid. And it turns out that the little girl had 4 STDs and 2 that will be with her for the rest of her life. Now, while this piece of shit was rapping about money, guns, everything else under the sun, trying to be a gangster, he was raping and trafficking a 6-year-old little girl. Even though this is on a low level, to me this is the highest level, because a little girl was hurt in the worst way by people she trusted, the parents. Now, once again, the system failed this little girl, as prior to this, she had symptoms of an STD, and the mother, Ingrid, just never brought her into the hospital. Agencies were called, but they couldn't do anything. Bullshit, they could do everything. But once again, they don't give a fuck until they have to give a fuck. Mother, Beth Ingrid, would lose the child, while DeMarcus and Waters will get sentenced to life in prison. Let's listen to this trash music that he was making while pretending to be a gangster until he met a real gangster and lost his life. You can go to his YouTube page right now and go light it up and let them know how you really feel. After the little girl told authorities what happened in a 6-year-old's words, I just couldn't imagine that. A 6-year-old having to deal with STDs, rape. I mean, this is the most innocent, beautiful time of your life, and your own mother is leading you to the slaughter. A man that you looked at as your uncle is the one giving you these diseases as he passes you around. You evil motherfuckers. What they would do after the little girl told them what happened is they had to go find them, ultimately testing them for STDs, Mario Waters and DeMarcus George, who both came back with 2 apiece of the STDs that the little girl would have. Both men will be indicted in 2002, where they receive a life sentence in 2023. Just a year into the sentence, Mario Waters would feel the real justice. In a high custody unit, he was still trying to play the gangster, walking up and down the tiers, rapping. Once a corrections officer got word to an inmate about his paperwork, that's when the plotting began to happen. Since this was in a high custody unit, most inmates are kept away. However, there's no man that can walk any yard, breathe any air in prison that does this heinous stuff to a 6-year-old little girl. So since it's a federal case and they're a federal prison, you have people from every city, every state, all over America in every single prison. And usually it's your organization, your gang, or where you're from that brings people together in the federal institutions. And we always take out our own trash. If you're from a certain car or you run with a certain organization, it's your responsibility to take out your trash. So that's when he was rocked to sleep. And his last few moments would be just like all of these sick, weak, chomo, coward piece of shit, begging for their lives while they're bleeding out on a prison floor, thinking about why. That the last few minutes of your life, all you could think about while the knife and the punches and the kicks and your head gets stomped into a toilet, is this is all because of what I did to a little girl. So people that might be from his organization or from his town said, yo, we like the way you rap, whatever it may be. They convinced him that when they come out there, you're good. Mario, who was just such a piece of shit, really believed that nobody knew what he did. He comes out of the cell, goes into another cell thinking he's gonna rap and hang out with some people that he knows or people from a similar organization. That's when the door was shut and they asked him to show the paperwork. Mario immediately, or should we say True Water, immediately is acting like, oh no, I got set up by my girl, the whole story. That's when he would be beaten, stabbed, choked, thrown in the toilet, covered with shit, sliced across his face, and ultimately gutted out where he would die in that prison cell. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, man, he got off easy, as this is one of the worst cases I've covered. It just goes to show you, as we see what's going on in the music industry, even though it's on a lower level, an aspiring rapper is raping a 6-year-old girl and giving her STDs with the help of the mother. And you think you're gonna go to prison and live? The fact that you are even with a life sentence or whatever you got can't compare to the life sentence that 6-year-old girl has to live with what you gave her. So while he was getting gutted, bleeding out, covered with shit, very common, the convicts remind them as they breathe their last few breaths of why they're doing this and who they're doing this for. When I see things where the mom does this, family members, it just goes to show me that we must fight for our kids. Fathers, you cannot abandon your kids. You must be vigilant and know where your kids at all time. Mothers, I know this is very rare. However, boyfriends, friends, they are not babysitters. They are not fathers. They are not grandmothers. Protect your kids at all costs. This is one of those situations where if I had 2 days left in prison and they put this dude anywhere near me, I get the death penalty. I will gut him and torture him. We must protect our kids at all costs. From the lowest levels to the highest levels. They are doing the most heinous crimes, targeting the most vulnerable and beautiful of our society. It's unfortunate that it takes prison for them to feel a little bit of what this 6-year-old girl felt. At least his last few moments was terror, fear, and humiliation. I pray that this little girl finds peace, as she was adopted by a loving family, can heal, stay strong, help others. It only took a year of his life sentence for him to get whacked immediately. Stay out, stay free, us.